What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James, RedoptionAgency.com. 22 years selling full-time on eBay. I must say, reselling's not for everybody. But if you enjoy it, it's that old saying, if you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life. And that's what it feels like for me. Like, I don't work. I am doing what I enjoy. I'm doing a hobby. I am doing a business, but it doesn't feel like it. There's no pressure. It's just enjoyable. Of course, with all the eBay problems, that puts the pressure on. But if you're able to kind of drown that out, you get back to the roots of enjoying what you're doing. And obviously, I'm personally talking here. I will address them, but I don't hone in on them anymore. I just don't. And I think making the videos, the work with me videos, is kind of helping me, has helped even more, I should say. Just kind of enjoy what I do and just realize that just chilling, having fun, enjoying myself, being quiet when I want to be quiet, being goofy when I want to be goofy, and don't have to answer to anybody, and can do what I want to do at any given day. If I don't want to list today and I want to go out and shop, I can. If I choose to dig around in one of my storage areas and find some good stuff, I can. Choices. Choices are good. So yesterday evening, the search bar finally came back, or the side scroll. It came back, but all my store categories are reading undefined again. And if you remember, I've talked about that in the past, where it would periodically hit, they would disappear and just say undefined. But at least the whole sidebar is back. At least it was. I didn't check this morning. Yesterday evening, it's just the store categories are not being recognized. See what I did yesterday. See, yesterday was Wednesday. Made it up to $872. So over last month, we were up 7% as of right now. So a little bit better than I thought I was going to be. So that's always good. We're at 8 a.m. right now. Up a little early because of the menace. I'm at $74 right now. The menace. 55 items sold yesterday. 39 organic, 16 promoted. Can you imagine if I didn't have that nightly shutdown, what my numbers would be? They would be normal. That's what we call normal if we didn't have the nightly shutdowns. Nightly shutdown again last night, 11:16 to 7:16. So there again, spot on with the exact time, exact minute. So 11:16 to 7:16. So 8 hours of blackness on eBay. Before those 8 hours of blackness, I used to do $250 overnight. So if you add 200 to every total I give you, that's what I normally should be getting. It'll be nice when we get back to that. I think what we had one of those days in the past, like 2 months, where it seemed like they didn't shut down overnight and actually had sales all night. So it'll be nice to get back to that. But I think after this past week has shown, the indication of that happening is probably still a long way off. Meaning there's still a hell of a lot of glitches and problems with this website. So I think it's taken a lot longer than they anticipated. So I only got like 4 items to ship since it's so early. So, yeah, let's do some questions and comments, I guess. Let's see here. I think eBay is targeting sellers, maybe the size of their store and price of items, because it determines the money they can collect. Before April 2023, my store was alive and sales had been vibrant all year. The economy started to crumble and high inflation, and then started having days at a time without sales. I changed and updated every item and description, also updated pictures on anything that I thought would help, and it continues to get worse. On top of glitches daily, it makes it impossible to sell on eBay. I am on 6 other sites, and the sales are starting to come down as well. The economy has a lot more to do with it than we are giving it credit for, and with the shape of eBay, it's definitely a sinking ship. The fact that eBay does not communicate the issue says it all. I'm starting to see social media talking about the downfall of eBay all over. I'm honestly tired of this bullshit. Very well said. First and foremost, very well said. Your pronunciations and your spellings are spot on. Either that or I'm just having a good reading day. Or both. I always try to get that top right above their heads on the busts. And I usually try to get the pictures right there on the side. I don't know why, but that's just the way I try to do it. So you can see the dogs if they walk through. But let's see if there's anything to talk about here. I don't know about the targeting particular stores. I do know from the CEO's own mouth, targeting lower dollar items, not wanting to deal with it as much, even though I believe I've read sometime, some point, I don't know if it's still active, that the average selling dollar point on eBay is like $20. So why would you want to give up your average, what makes you money? I don't know. But so I think it's harder, but not impossible. I also think that is a plus for lower dollar items on eBay right now with the economy, because people still want to buy. They're just buying cheaper. So there's always, kind of 2 ways to look at it, depending on, actually 3, your way, my way, and the truth, right? So everybody sees everything differently. So, but very well said, though, for sure, on all the points. I think the economy does probably have a little bit more to do with it than I give it credit for sure. But I think that's more in line with higher dollar items than lower dollar. But I'm sure I guarantee it's impacting lower dollar also. Normally, if you're struggling, you're either one of 2 people. You're trying to work harder, or you're just kind of, I don't know, like mentally drained or dead, and you're just like vegging in front of the TV, right? Trying to avoid the stress and stuff. So there's probably more than just 2 ways, but just kind of trying to go at it at different directions. So, because if you go at it from different directions, you can usually come up with not necessarily a solution, but a change. So I think that's the one thing that when you hear me always say coming at it just blabbering, if you will, I guess. It's, for me, that's kind of brainstorming in my head in hopes that it will rattle a new idea or a new thought or a new process, if you will. New motivation, whatever the case may be. Legos. James, do you still believe in music, CDs, and cassettes long term? Duh. Of course I do. Yeah. I've been buying lately and think records may soon fade and be replaced by tapes as the cool thing kids are buying. I don't think records will ever be replaced records have had a longevity. They've had their, ups and downs, but they've, take records and compare them to like 8-tracks. 8-tracks, there's a collector's market, but you don't see new generations buying 8-tracks. Vinyl records, it seems like every new generation somehow, some way goes back to records, right? Cassettes have picked up when it comes to the next generation buying music. And then CDs also are picking back up. I think last year was the biggest year per like 2000 or whatever for CDs sales. I think it actually beat vinyl sales last year, if I remember correctly. CDs themselves. So I think there's always going to be room for physical media because music is life. Period. There is no life without music. That's the way I kind of look at it. I mean, even if you go back to indigenous days, they made music. Life is music. So there's always going to be collectors. Humans have that hoard or collecting mentality, and there's always going to be music in people's lives. So I don't think any type of media is ever going to completely die out. So I think there's always going to be, I think media is a sure bet for daily sales. And I've been doing it 22 years now, but you have your ebbs and flows, right? So that's why I was very lucky to be in a position to pounce when I was able to buy all the music I bought. Like I said, I probably still have, the numbers are just guessing at this point, 100,000 CDs, 100,000 cassettes, 100,000 DVDs in storage, probably 50,000 8-tracks. Just because of all the music stores and collections I've been able to buy out over the years. So they're just buried the deepest in the storage areas for the most part. So I just still have to get to them. So, but yeah, I don't think they're ever going to die out. So I have been buying lately and think records soon fall. Okay, I already said that. I may want to take your domination approach and start stocking a storage unit while they are still cheap. Thoughts? Anytime you can get them dirt cheap. My approach when I was doing it was buy volume, pay anywhere from a nickel to 25 cents a piece, times that by thousands of CDs, thousands of cassettes. Know what you're looking at, cherry pick it to make your money back super quick, and all the rest is future money, future income. So that's the way I always went about it. Because once I got my money back, then I could buy the next batch. So thinks I'm going to try this. Was just going onto eBay to reject a lowball offer, but then I saw this video, your video, and that makes perfect sense. So I think that's the video where I was talking about if you get a lowball offer, just counter. But counter, if it's $25 and they come in at $5, just go at 24 and play the game. That means that item's getting activity and it'll get bumped up in the algorithm. And has many times for me in the past, somebody came in and bought it up. So I think that's what he's speaking of there. Chill vibes here. I watch at the end of the day for inspiration to list. So thanks. Thank you. And we got the Peewee comments. Peewee's doing fine so far. I started him on his new seizure meds. Takes a few days to really build up in the system. So we've kept him on his old seizure. See, I don't know why I always jack up that word. So I kept him on his old seizure medicine at the same time. so that since it took days to build up the new. So I gave him 2 of the old yesterday in the morning and night, gave him 1 today, and then I'll give him 1 at night, and then tomorrow I shouldn't need no more of the old. And then got him on his skin infection medicine, and doing the ear drops every night to get rid of the ear infection. Still not being able to break the jumping. Tried something different yesterday by taking him outside when Jan got home so he wouldn't jump on her, but he still wanted to jump on her outside, so that didn't work out quite well. But at least I had a hold of him. So try to think of a new way to attack it today to get him to stay down, but gonna find what works. Figure it out. That's what we do. We figure it out. Do you test them? I'm guessing CDs and media. Also, do you resurface after a sale only? I do not test them. I just guarantee them. Normally, you can pretty much tell, at least by CDs, if they're going to play or not by looking at them. Yeah, I resurface after the sale. There's no point in wasting resources and money on items that sit on your shelf. So definitely wait till after they sell. If they have deep scratches and you don't know what you're doing, it may be better to resurface them beforehand to see if the actual scratches can come out or not. But I've had enough history in CDs that I know what I'm looking at, thankfully. So, drop shipper, other sites. Yeah. I figured I'm not even going to go look. Whoever it is buying stuff from me, I'm sure they're selling it on another site. I kind of checked eBay to make sure they weren't selling it on eBay because I don't want that no-no, right? So if they're selling it on another site, I don't want to know nothing about it. It saves me the work of doing it. And when it sells, they come and buy it from me. Are they buying it for a few dollars less? Yes. But guess what? I didn't put no work into it. That's the way I'm kind of looking at it. If that's what's going on, that's what's going on. I don't need to know. Do what you're doing. That's the way I'm kind of going to look at it from now. I thought about it last night, and I'm like, I don't care. I know it's hard work, but he's just showing his love. He loves his dad. Peewee. There are so many misleading YouTubers and some flat out lie. I only watch a handful because I found that some of them aren't genuine enough for me to pay attention to. That's why I like you and Marcus. Marcus is real about the mistakes he's made and honest about the reselling business in general. Yeah, you can usually tell when people are an open book, basically. Like I've said many times, I learned at a younger age, at like 23, there's no point in lying about anything. It only screws up your life in the end. Own everything. And then also it came from when I was bullied too. If I owned it all, how can you make fun of me? I already own it. Yeah, so. Just like that Eminem battle rap. I was Eminem before Eminem. I was owning my own stuff before Eminem owned his own stuff. But that's what the basis of what I'm saying. Just own who you are, because the hardest part about owning who you are is accepting the fact that you're not perfect. Everybody thinks they're immortal or, perfect, or they try to be perfect. Or once you accept that nothing about this life is perfect, if it was, nobody would die. Innocence wouldn't suffer. Once you realize that there's nothing perfect about the situation we were birthed into, it's easier to accept and not be afraid to talk about anything and everything, because there are somebody else somewhere who's going through the exact same thing, who may still have a block for one reason or another as to not deal with it or talk about it. So if you are an open book and you can, and that person finds you, it can help them. Personally, I look at it as a more selfish reason first and foremost. It helps me. If I talk about anything and everything, guess what? There's nothing on my mind. I can sleep at the end of the day. I have a conscience, and it will keep me up if I am keeping something from the universe, if you will. So it's kind of where I come from with all that. So I think people, and I guess it just comes from being, at least from me and my perspective, my viewpoint, my generation, whatever you want to call it. Growing up, you want to seem like you're there, that you're not weak. I guess this comes, if you think about it, I guess that's true when it comes to even like tribal days, right? You don't want to show any weakness because you need to survive. But the one beauty about the society that has been created for us, even though I talk a lot about the downfalls of, or the bad parts of the society, the best part about the society that's been created for us is the fact that we don't necessarily have to watch our backs 24/7. We don't have to fend and fight for food. You know, we don't have to fight for shelter unless you're that squatter, that lady who went back to her $1 million house and got arrested because she confronted 2 squatters. Is that messed up? That's a messed up rule, law thing, whatever. I saw that yesterday. So if you haven't heard about that, some lady in New York went to a $1 million house. Apparently she inherited it or something from her parents or something. I don't know. And 2 squatters were there. The police were called. She was the one arrested because of the squatter law. Huh? Here's what I would have done in that situation. I would have walked in my house. I would have beat the crap and or shot. Okay, maybe not shot. I would have beat the crap out of the squatters and say, home invasion. This is my house. They invaded my space. I took them out. That's what I would have done. But I guess that's what you have to do. If you think about, I talk a lot about like loopholes and ways to get around things and do things on like the government level and the lawyer level. Think about it, it has to do with almost every level, owning a house level. So there's a loophole right there, that there's a loophole, bad loophole on one side, but a loophole you can use on the other side. Loophole that the squatter's okay to squat in your house, but your loophole is you're the homeowner and you can defend your territory. So sometimes you have to use the loopholes to your advantage to survive in this society. But like I said, back to the positive. The good things about the society is you don't have to fight for anything. Well, you don't have to fight for food. I won't say fight for anything. You don't necessarily have to fight for food if you work. You don't have to watch out for the bobcats and the people trying to take your food away, or your cave, if you will. So it gives you other opportunities to grow and advance. I know I was originally going somewhere with that, then I got sidetracked with that squatter case, and I forgot where I was going. I apologize. All right, well, let's ship out these few items and I'll shut up and get to work. You talk too much. Saying what's on your mind. Breathe cassette. All this I should have known. Single. Sold for $5.50. Headed to Kenwood, California. I don't know why I'm weighing that. I know what it's going to weigh. 2, 4x8x1. That goes up. Shane. Boink. Next up, we got a Vans off the wall hat sold for $8, headed to Lake Toxaway, North Carolina. Oh, where I was going. When you're younger, yeah, you have to, you try to, where it comes from, where you feel like you've got to portray yourself as dominant or perfect or whatever for not just survival reasons, but for mating reasons, right? Trying to get the girl. So you have this whole false facade created so that you're like the peacock with the big feathers trying to attract the female. Because at the end of the day, we're all animals, right? So still got the animal instincts in us. And I was that way up until about 23. And then I realized, you know what? I'm just going to be who I am. And I came to find out that people are more attracted to imperfections than perfections. It's that whole bad boy mentality type of thing, where if you're a little bit off kilter, it seems like, well, I think there's two different ways a woman looks at it. One is a challenge, and one is security. So some will look at it as security, like, oh, this is, someone who's stronger because they can say whatever, be whatever, kind of a wild mentality. And then there's the women who were brought up in a very structured environment, so they see it as a challenge to tame the wild animal, if you will. Tame the wild animal. But my point is, you would actually end up attracting more like that than trying to act like you're perfect, because a lot of people can smell BS a mile away. Duncan Farr, Better Than Ever promo CD single. Sold for $10, headed to New Raleigh, New York. Or New Rochelle, sorry. New Rochelle, New York. Well, you just can't tell. Well, my Michelle. My Michelle. My Michelle. Michelle Joyce. You like it when certain markers or pens, they make you write a certain way that feels good. You're like, yeah. Like, as a person who likes to draw, letters were always my thing. I always loved creating new letters, new fonts and stuff like that. So I always, depending on the pen, will give me a different feel on how to create a letter. So I don't know if normal people are like that or not. I know I pulled that. Did I leave it lay in here? Yes, I did. So we got Cinderella Man on DVD. Headed to Michigan, sold for $9. All right. Sam, I am. And I got one going to Canada. After saying that my Canadian orders have dried up, I got a Canadian order. Maybe I should do like, one of these days I need to do a live listing thing. My like listing thing, but do it live. Just so I can interact. On my days I feel talkative and don't just want to be like quiet. Maybe I will go live. Doink. What did I just do? Nothing, I guess. Just look in the wrong place. Why is these all like... Hold on, something's... I messed up something here. That one says Sam, that one says Shane. Dude, I just totally jacked up stuff. Shane is the cassette. I put it on the DVD. Can I reprint these labels? Because I really screwed up here. Shane is that one. Dude, I just didn't pay attention, did I? Now you can pre-print the labels, but... Let me make sure I got these other ones right. So Yana is the hat. So that's that. So I got the S's mixed up. I saw an S, and since I was talking, I mixed Shane up with Sam, I guess. So I need to reprint Shane's. Because Sam is the no, Shane is the single. Sam is the DVD. So I need to reprint Shane's. Unless I can pull it off. No, it's not coming off. Reprint Shane. Fixed it. Alright, let's see if I can reprint that. This thing still don't work. We looked everywhere. Waiting. It's paid and shipped. What you doing? What you doing? Huh? Let's see. I just want to reprint. Purchase another label. Print packing slip and more. Cancel order. Well, let me print it from here. No. I know I've done this before. Why are you sitting right in front of me? View payments and notes, sell similar. Add tracking. Nope, already add tracking. Could have swore there was a reprint again option somewhere. Humdy, humdy, hum. Well, let me figure this out. I won't waste your time doing it. Oh, I got the other one to do. We got the Gino Vanilli CD. No, you're not gonna get my attention while I'm working. That's the one in Canada. Sold for $8.12. What do you see? You're just trying too hard to get attention. That's why I gotta ignore you. Got to ignore you when you're trying to get attention. Give it to you when you're doing good. $8.12. It's like a little child. You ignore them when they're being mischievous. So you're not okay in the actions. All right. Still at $74. I know there was a way, right? Print package, print coupon, send coupon, mark not shipped, cancel order, view payment details, add note, relist, sell symbol, report buyers, and archive. What am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing here? Maybe there's not. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Huh. I'm either not finding it or I'm thinking of something else. Oh, I'll figure something out. Anyway, thanks everybody for hanging out. I will see you all in the next video. Later.